You for gore?
I think so. Don't remember what I was talking about.
You're talking about the Tinkerer.
Elbows and bones. I mean...
Elbows and boners?
No, elbows and veins.
Yes?
High dose infusion of vitamin C.
That's my job.
There's a game I might not have told you about.
Is it the one that had a 10-year game rate? The game took 10 years for a sequel?
This game took 20 years to be made.
When are you ever going to tell me the name of that one?
Never. It will bother you till the end of your life. When you're on your deathbed and you're about to die, I will say, you will never know.
I can go and Google it again.
No. I just want to talk, please. So anyway, this game took 20 minutes. I mean, 20 years. And it has a name I'm not even going to fucking try to pronounce.
Yeah?
I just know it has revision in it.
Activision?
No, the name, one of the words in the name is revision.
Yes?
I'm not even going to try to pronounce the first word of the name. It is...
Balls?
Bringlish.
Bring us Studios?
No, I was saying like Chinglish, but like for random bullshit. Bringlish.
Oh my god.
Unpronounceable. It's like 4 words got put in a blender.
It's like Fort Worth got put in a blender?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a game about time travel, but not really. Basically, this game takes every basic trope from any anime stuff ever, and then completely slaps you over the face by completely removing it.
From existence.
Yes. So, for example, you play as like a regular blonde swordsman guy in a medieval setting, okay?
Maybe.
Except it gives you a full-on, really cool backstory for him. Where basically, he was just dropped in front of a random cabin in the woods one day with a talking bird. And his only memory is of him and his friend when he was a kid getting mauled to death by a dragon thing.
What, the wiener?
Yeah. So he's with a talking bird crow thing.
Yes.
That says he's not a crow, so... Also, this is incredible foreshadowing for much later in the game, saying he's not a crow. But anyway, he has one of the coolest names ever that I don't remember. And anyway, the main character... What's interesting about this is that they do the silent protagonist thing, you know? But the main character does talk, you just don't hear it. But every other character can hear them talking, but they never have a text box, so you don't know what they say.
Is it like an angel where he says, oh, maybe you're just not listening right?
No, he's just a regular-ass guy, kind of.
Oh.
But basically, this game was made over 20 years by one guy, and the only part about it that isn't really that good is the graphics. But even that is actually really good because it grows on you eventually. Also, all the music is completely fine to be streamed because it's open source music that people have allowed to be used.
You mean... Oh.
Every single track in the game, which is really cool to me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, some of them I even remember from other random Flash games I played once, so...
Really?
That's how you know it's good.
You've played that many Flash games?
Jaden, I probably have over 5,000 hours in Flash games. Cool math games with this shit.
Did he give you the shits?
Anyway, this game really does feel like a Flash game if it was made by the autistic person of all time.
Okay.
There's so much content and at so many different points. I just thought, okay, now it's over, and then it just keeps going. Like this happened like 7 different times, by the way. But anyway, this game actually has really cool mechanics where you start out with a stick.
Me.
A stick the size of you. It's supposed to be a sword, but it's basically just a really fucking big stick. Okay?
That's hot.
That is the first thing you get, and this is one of the funniest moments I've ever had in gaming. Basically, the main character is stuck in the middle of this forest, but it's not any regular forest. It's actually a ridiculously gigantic forest that is like the size of a continent.
Yeah.
This is another...
Linus thing in common.
This is another... What's the word for the... disturbance? What was the... I don't know the word. But like, where you expect it's going to be one thing, but it's actually a different thing. What's the word for that?
Economic reconstruction?
No. I don't remember, but deconstruction. That's it. Deconstruction. Basically,
deeper suction.
Because at first I thought it would be something like a Lost Woods situation. Because a lot of games have a place where where you have to take a specific path in specific orders, or you get looped back to the start. I thought it was like that at first, but it's not. It's just so ridiculously gigantic that it's almost impossible to cross through.
Sorry, just looking for someone.
And basically, the main character starts leaving it, and you want to know how long it takes to get out of there after they learn some basic survival skills?
Hang on.
What are you doing? Are you serious?
Well, if it was if they were looking for a clip, I wanted to tell her that she's in the shitter.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think so, but yeah. But anyway,
video games.
you want to know how long it takes them to get out of this forest?
10 years.
8 years.
Oh, not bad.
Literally, no. Like you know how long it takes? He's like a kid that's like 2 feet tall when he leaves, and he's an adult that's like 7 feet tall when he like escapes.
Like Kyle.
Yeah, it actually does look a lot like Kyle.
Hey, you're back.
Someone came by that might have been asking for you. We don't know.
What'd they say?
She said, "Oh, I'm looking for someone," and then left. But she came here multiple times. So.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
So anyway, the very first thing.
Wait, Eclipse, take your water.
I want my water.
Oh, okay.
So the very first thing that happens after you escape is that you see a sign of humanity, literally.
Yeah,
Literally, like a sign. Pointing to a village, okay?
maybe.
And basically the sign is all faded and weathered, which is actually a pretty big foreshadowing thing. But basically, the very first fight in this game, the bird goes and grabs a giant stick for your guy to use to fight weak slime things. You want to know the music for this is one of the most insanely hardcore metal tracks I have ever heard in a video game, ever. And it is just so out of place for the first area in this game, with where you're fighting things with a stick. And it's incredible. In fact, this single track was so good, I spent 5 hours grinding in this area just to hear it more.
What the wiener?
Even after I'd maxed out everything I possibly could at that point, I just kept going because it was such a good song. Yeah.
That sounds like you.
It was called Enter Velocity. You know it's good because I actually told you the name of it.
Yeah. Although you didn't tell me the name of the game that took 10 years, and you say that's good, so.
Anyway, but yeah, after I literally played this area for like 5 hours straight, and basically the combat's really, really good too. So it's not like a turn-based game, which I know you hate, apparently.
Yeah.
It's more like an action RPG, but combined with Mario. Side-scrolling.
Okay.
And platforming, kind of.
It's not jumping.
Some sections are, yeah. Some sections are like that game, yeah. Anyway.
What the wiener?
Basically, combat works for you. You swipe at something 3 times, and that's your basic combo. And then you can jump.
The hell? That's weird.
It sounds boring, right? But the more you unlock stuff, you can actually get more moves you can do. And then this game has the best combos I have ever seen in a game, ever. Like, so eventually there's like an attack you can get that's a charge attack, but instead of just being a bigger hit that does more damage, it's an attack where you throw your sword and it swirls around like a boomerang and hits an enemy over and over, and then launches them slightly into the air, which you can then combo into another attack by pressing the attack button right before the boomerang comes back and grab it, and then you can launch into the air and then hit it like 5 times with a rising attack, and then you can do the charge attack mid-air again, and then smack it downwards with another downwards attack. And then you can just kind of keep going. And it's super fun. It is way, way more fun than it looks.
And you mean than it sounds?
No, than it looks. It looks like a completely basic combat system, but it is so much fun to actually play. Like, it looks boring when you're not playing it, but it is the funnest game I have ever played. In fact, this game was, I'd say, the best action game I have ever played in my life. Including every other game I've ever told you about.
Even Doom?
Especially fucking Doom. Doom is a Neanderthal baby shit compared to this. Because you can jump here.
I mean Doom 2016, Doom Eternal.
Oh, yeah, still.
You
still.
can jump in those.
Yeah, still. It's so much better. Because basically, you have this system called the growth board. Don't make any jokes, I swear to God. And every time you hit...
It's the Luigi board.
Every time you hit or kill an enemy, you get certain color hexagon thingies that absorb into your body. And the sound that it makes is super nice.
So it's like Hexic.
No, but like basically, once you get enough hexagon juices, you can use the growth board to get new abilities. And a lot of these are like 2 attack or something, plus 2 attack. But a lot of those more generic ones actually act like a pathway to lead to better abilities. And it's like this gigantic board.
Path of Exile. Kind of like that.
No, this
or
skill tree,
Diablo 2.
This skill tree makes Path of Exile's skill tree look like it's 4 skills.
Have you? I think you've showed it to me before. Yeah.
And this game's skill tree makes Path of Exile's skill tree look small. Like, it was so ridiculously big that the developer of the game, apparently it looks like it ran out of where to put things and just decided to write the entire name of the game as part of the skill tree to unlock. That's how big it is.
What, the wiener?
And basically, a little bit later, after solving a fucking confusing puzzle, like, this game has puzzles that are like JRPG puzzles from, like, the early 2000s, which means they're bullshit. You are not going to figure out the answer without a guide.
What's a JRPG?
Japanese RPG.
Oh, so like Final Fantasy.
Exactly. But basically, for example, the first puzzle you have to get these 2 orbs to put on 2 pedestals to unlock a gate, okay?
You gotta put the balls into
And
another portal.
You find 1 blue orb, but then you find a red orb. And it only gives you some cryptic bullshit about flying over the moon or something. and
so
you know
like your dream.
What you actually have to do? You have to jump over a single pool of water in the village you're at to turn the red orb blue.
What the hell? So it's like Diablo 2.
I had
the red orb and the blue orb?
I had to look this up for an hour. It took me 4 hours before I tried that.
Sounds like Minecraft, actually.
Oh my god. Like, but besides that, that's the only really bad part, is the random stupid puzzles that you can tell were made in 2005.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine. It's fine, even though I had to look up the guy's entire playthrough on YouTube just to find the specific puzzle answer, because no one's made any guides for it because it's so unknown.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it's a bad game. That's the only bad part. But anyway.
That's unknown. That could be a good thing.
After you finish murdering a whole genocide's worth of slimes, which you definitely will do if you play this game. It's actually addictive as hell.
Still sounds like Minecraft.
You basically then find a guy.
Yes.
Who has red hair, and he looks like he's the guy who should be the protagonist, which is foreshadowing, by the way. Like, there's a lot of foreshadowing in this game. Like, a ridiculous amount. Like, almost everything is foreshadowing. But basically, this guy is like a typical edgy anime guy with a big sword, you know?
Okay.
But he's a pretty cool guy. And you take a camp out with him, and you learn that the forest you were in was called a frontier area.
There's something in the air.
And there are areas where monsters don't exist for some reason. And nothing lives there. And there are 7 of these. There are 7 of these in the world. Just to give you an idea what that means. Remember how long just one of them took to get halfway through?
8 hours?
Yeah. 8 years, Jaden.
Oh.
8 years of almost nothing but walking through it. And it was like a straight path, too. There were no real obstacles getting through it. 8 years to go through half of it, because they started right in the middle of it. 8 years. And there are 7 of these similar-sized areas, with the one you were in being the smallest one.
That's delicious.
So that instantly gives you a picture of how big the world is, which is really cool, honestly. It's a really cool way to do world building, literally. But anyway, every bit of lore in this game is by itself more interesting than entire AAA game plot lines. For example, they'll randomly just spout stuff at you about how the world is actually a flat world. and you wonder what the hell that means, and then you learn there's a reasonable explanation for it later on, which I'll get to later. Probably by the time Kira comes back. But anyway...
Like God got mad or something in the game?
No, actually, it's kind of the opposite. But anyway, you go to a village, and it feels like a typical RPG first quest thing, where a girl is sick and you have to get some magic herbs for her or something. Herbs. And her dad is trapped in a cave, so you have to go rescue him. Very generic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Except, this is when the game really hooks you, if the slime thing already didn't, with the insane soundtrack. Okay?
It's a soundtrack?
Yeah, remember I told you the really good soundtrack in the first area? Like, it was so good.
With the stick.
It was so good. The soundtrack was so good. I even came back to it at the end of the game, even when the XP from there didn't matter at all, just to listen to it. I went through that same a few areas so many times, I memorized an exact pattern and speed ran it over and over. That's how good the soundtrack was. But anyway, back to the village. So you get some typical information about how this girl's dad is trapped in a cave and you have to go in there. That's the cave with the balls, by the way.
Yeah.
The cave with the orbs puzzle thing.
Orbulus.
Yes. And then your character notices like a weird feeling at some point in the cave. And then about after you get all the way through, which is actually incredibly satisfying because this game is hard. Like really hard.
Yeah.
But you can basically, every time you die, you don't go back to a save point, you just game over. Which is actually really good for this game in particular.
Hang on, I think I should close the door.
Okay.
Hopefully this doesn't confuse anyone.
Now, for example, there are these skeleton enemies in the second half of the cave area that in any other game would be absolute fodder and would be basically easy to steamroll. But in this game, due to the way the game plays like a platformer, they have an overhead swing that is almost undodgeable if you're in front of them, and their attacks are so strong they instantly break through your guard if you're shielding at this point in the game. Okay?
Yeah.
So, you have to like slowly like inch through the cave and then bring back all the XP and growth stuff you brought with you.
The bone meal?
And you basically have to decide when to leave the cave and to keep all your stuff, or stay and you might die and lose it all and have to do it all again.
Which is always fun.
It actually is fun in this game because you know exactly what the stakes are, and after your first death you can properly prepare. And then you slowly get farther and farther until by the end of the cave you're actually like 2v1ing the skeletons. And it's super satisfying. This game has like the perfect progression scaling. Like, it pisses you off just enough to where you keep going.
To motivate you.
And then when you succeed, it's super satisfying. It's like Dark Souls, but like less painful.
Dark holes.
And then there's my favorite system in any game I've ever played, the mastery system. Basically, every single weapon, every single armor, and every single shield has a mastery. You can master them over using them. And each mastery gives you specific passive skills that are unique to that weapon or armor or anything that you can then equip. Every single armor and weapon and shield in this entire game has a unique mastery.
Yeah?
There is no iron shield that you can just randomly buy at a store, you know. Every weapon is unique. Every weapon has their passive abilities, which is really cool. And once you master them, you can use them without the weapon. So basically, if you have the stick, for example, takes forever to master, which is one of the reasons I grinded the slimes for so long, was to actually master it.
And because you love the song.
Yes. But that also helped too. It gives you motivation to keep doing that until it's mastered. And when I did, I was actually rewarded for it in a reasonable way, because mastering the stick gives you a bonus that like almost doubles the rate you master weapons at.
Yeah?
Which is the most useful skill in the entire game that is for grinding.
And you love grinding.
Well, no, it's just that it's perfect that the stick gives you that, because it's the first weapon you ever have. So if you want to spend the time to master that, it takes forever, then you get a really good skill. You'd be surprised how many games don't ever do that, where they give you appropriate rewards for the amount of effort you have to put in. Because it took me 2 hours to get the mastery on the stick. Like I think it takes the longest to master out of any weapon, but it was worth it.
You are kind of the grinder of all time.
Only when the grinding's good. I don't like games if it's grinding for just the sake of it for no reason. I like grinding when it means something, you know? When it
Yeah.
actually feels like you're getting better. But yeah, super fun. You even have these special crystals that go to these passive skills that you can only equip a certain amount of depending on the amount of crystals you have. And you can just find like these crystals anywhere in some random chests and stuff. So by the end of the game, you might have like 150 of these crystals that you can have passive stuff put into and equip a ton of shit.
That sounds like all the mods 10 actually.
But it's incredibly fun, especially because a lot of basic game features are locked behind early crystal unlocks. So, like, you slowly get more UI elements depending on how many crystals you have. Like being able to see the exact amount of treasure chests that you haven't opened on a screen, for example.
Yes.
And stuff like that. Or even being able to double jump or triple jump are some of these passive abilities. Or there's one, my favorite passive ability, I don't remember what it was called, but it lets you wield huge weapons like they were normal weapons. Because in this game there's also a weight system for weapons, where weapons can either be daggers, swords, or massive weapons, like in size. And daggers, obviously, are super fast to attack, right?
Yeah.
Swords are pretty slow, but like not too slow.
But
And
they're
do a
more
lot more
powerful.
damage than daggers.
Yeah.
And bigger weapons are like incredibly slow, but are ridiculously powerful and usually knock enemies halfway across the screen when you hit them with them.
Like a great blade?
Yeah, like that. But dagger type weapons usually have some kind of conditional bonus to them, like being able to burn enemies or something too. Every single weapon in this game is fun to use.
That's good. They probably made sure of that.
Yeah, it's one guy though. It's just so impressive. But basically,
Is that guy a they them?
no.
You sure?
He's a he. He's a Japanese guy who just worked in an office building and just wanted to make his dream game one day and decided just to do it.
Boredom. It's a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm. But it basically, to get off the systems for a second. Wait, that's a really bad way to phrase that.
What?
To stop talking about the systems of the game for a
To
second.
undock from the systems.
So what happens at the end of the cave is that you meet the guy, the dad guy, who actually has a really cool design for an NPC character. Like, he looks way more important than he should, which at first I thought was foreshadowing, but then later realized they just put that much effort into every single NPC to make them all look unique. Which is really cool. Like, there's no Villager A.
There's just Villager B.
No,
and C.
I mean, like, there's no Villager A. There's David the Carpenter, who has 2 kids.
Carpenter?
There's David the Carpenter, who has 2 kids and like fixes roofs and stuff to provide for them, and that maybe he might need medicine for them, but there's no quest for it. He just kind of goes and gets it himself over the course of the game. Like, every NPC has like at least a small story that you can kind of just tell from looking around them, which is really cool. Like, there's no Villager A. That's Dave.
From State Farm.
Yes. But anyway.
What are you wearing?
Anyway, so this guy
Khakis.
talks about how he heard of a magical pair of scales in this cave, the dad guy. And I say scales, not like a dragon scales, but like the balancing kind of scale.
Yeah.
You know?
Dragon Scale Interactive.
No, it's like, you know, like a weighing scale.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Stop turning on. Anyway, so he wanted, but he didn't really care about the scales. He just wanted to find this legendary plant that would cure his daughter, okay?
That's hot.
That are next to the scales. So he goes in to look for them, and you enter, and then the next
He
room.
accidentally creates Dr. Pepper.
No, you enter the next room, and then you find a skeleton on the ground. The dead kind, not the monster kind. And you have a message from him.
What the hell?
Yeah, 5 seconds later, right when you just talked to him. But
That's
like the
weird.
skeleton's obviously been decomposing for a while. And he says that he accidentally unleashed some kind of guardian and got stabbed in the chest. And now he's just writing it to apologize to his daughter for not being able to survive and get her the medicine.
That's sad.
So that's surprisingly dark for what up until this point mostly seems like a generic RPG game.
Yeah.
For the first quest ever in the game. And then a fucking dragon with one of the coolest designs I have ever seen on a dragon appears out of nowhere. Like, it looks alien to everything else in the game so far because of how insanely cool it looks. Like, it looks like a monster from Monster Hunter rather than from a generic RPG game.
What's Monster Hunter?
It's exactly what it sounds like. It is a game where you hunt monsters, and it has a real biological ecosystem. And all the monsters are insane in that game, like having a lightning T-Rex that has a taser for a face.
When did that come out?
It's a series, Jaden. It's the only game it's the only game series in the autism extinction genre.
But what?
Anyway,
What are you talking about?
you wouldn't get it. Anyway, this dragon
What?
is really, really cool looking, okay?
Maybe.
And the music for this dragon this dragon fight is even better than the one for the first area of the game.
This one's even better than the first.
It's called Surface Tension, and it is the best music track I have ever heard in any piece of fictional media in my life.
Can we hear it?
What?
I want to hear it, actually.
Maybe when we get home, but not like here, you know?
Why not?
Bothering people.
No one's here.
No,
No?
at home.
I can look it up.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I don't want it to be here because we're in public, you know? But yeah, you can do that when we get home.
Oh yeah, it would be kind of bad if we were playing it, someone walks past and they say, "Why are you playing Mario?"
It's not Mario music.
Exactly.
It's like hardcore metal. Oh,
That is
yeah.
exactly why.
Oh yeah. But seriously, Surface Tension is one of the best themes, and it fits the situation perfectly. It really feels like you're some random fuckhead number 3 about to fight a fucking dragon while using a stick with your only ally being a bird. Like, it feels exactly like that. I don't know how it gets such a specific feeling, but it really feels like you are fighting a fucking dragon with a stick. Which I actually did, because I had no better weapons at that point. And the sheer feeling of actually winning against the dragon using a stick is insane. Especially because it had 5,000 health.
I can imagine.
And you do like 10 damage a hit.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people complained in the comments, or like the reviews, that this boss fight was too long, but I disagree. It was like the perfect amount of time, because you're fighting a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to take a long time. When you have a stick for a weapon. Like,
You're just beating it over the head. with a
literally
stick.
the best weapons you have at this point are like either a stick,
Or a
a
bird.
spoon, or a wooden sword, so there's not much of a difference.
Well, I'd pick
Also,
one
the
sword.
bird is actually the best weapon so far. Because the
Because it's
bird...
unpredictable?
No, because the bird lets you turn into monsters.
What the hell?
Yeah, you unlock a whole very unique summoning mechanic where some of the skills you can unlock on the growth tree let you turn into monsters. And they have specific keybinds, which is actually super cool. So you
Yeah,
press
that's
the
pretty
Y
cool.
button, which freezes time, and then you can move up, down, left, or right to select which thing you're turning into.
That's hot.
And then there are some extra ones that you can turn into by using multiple buttons, like going up and then down. And there's even one for the Konami code that you can do, which is actually a really cool way to do summons. And it keeps the fight really fluid. And you don't have to like go into your inventory or anything. You just press a specific button combination. And the game doesn't stop time for this if you're on a higher difficulty, but by the point I started playing on the higher difficulties, I actually didn't notice because I got so good at the game.
That's delicious.
Yeah, like, it just, the combat gets more fun every hour of the game, for the entire game. To the point, when I started playing this, I didn't sleep for a week. I had 2 breaks in a week of playing this non-stop. I could not stop playing it until I had actually 100%ed it and got everything.
It was that fun?
It was that fun. It actually made my cold, dead heart feel something for once. Like, it actually made me like doing something for once in like a decade almost. That's how good this game was. Yeah. And I only had 2 real complaints in the entire game. The first being the puzzles, and the second being some of the anime stuff.
Oh, was it the just girl on the screen?
But that's only really a problem for one chapter pretty early on in the game. But then it goes like really, really, really crazy after that in the actual story. So I mostly just ignored it. Especially because in that same chapter, it has one of the biggest tonal whiplashes I have ever seen in a game.
Biggest dickus?
Yes. Anyway, back to the first quest. We still aren't done. So after you beat the fucking dragon, the bird reasonably is utterly horrified that you somehow survived that as random guy number 3 with a stick.
Northeast!
Like you if you saw that, if you saw this random guy you came with who had only had his first fight a literal half a day ago beat a dragon with a stick, I'm pretty sure you'd think he was a skinwalker too. Right?
Possibly.
Yeah. But, like, it doesn't feel like your character is overpowered, though, because, again, it's like a 10-minute fight.
Yeah.
Where you have to, like, perfectly block stuff, and you'll constantly get knocked all the way across the screen back into the cave walls and stuff. So, it really feels like you aren't overpowered, but that you just overcame an insane fight. Which is really, really cool, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway, after this, you are obviously horrified at how this guy is dead and decomposing already. Even though it's been 5 minutes. So you grab the scales that are there, and then you go back to the village. And it's a ruin.
Doctor Who?
It's completely ruined and destroyed. Remember how I mentioned the faded sign before?
No, actually.
That was one of the first things. So basically, when you first see the village, there's like a faded sign before you go there, and then you meet the guy, the red-haired guy.
With It's Now Dead?
And
Or is that a different guy?
basically, the first time you actually enter the village, the sign is no longer faded.
Huh.
Yeah. So basically, what just happened is that when you first entered the village, you time traveled into the past, and then you altered the future by opening that gate for the guy, because otherwise, if it weren't for you, they never would have figured out the puzzle.
So they all died because of that.
Yeah, so the guy accidentally released the Guardian, and he killed everyone in the village, and you fail the quest.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Who is texting?
Now, that is like an insane thing to have for your first quest in a game.
No one's texting me.
And then basically, right when you entered that Guardian room, you went back to modern day. So that's why the guy you talked to just turned into a skeleton instantly, was because you were in the past in one moment and then in the future.
That's not as delicious.
So, very, very cool plot twist for a first quest in a game, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was like a huge gut punch, because you just thought, because even the herbs, or whatever those things are, the plant thing, the legendary herb thing that you find is rotted because it's been so long. So all you have is a rotted herb now that wouldn't have even been worth it, even if it wasn't anymore, because the girl's dead.
What the fuck?
Yeah, even the kids are dead in the village.
No, not the Shindrin.
Yeah, in fact, the biggest gut punch, this is like the first time this game actually made me cry, is that when you go to the village where the girl's house was, there's just a half-eaten house. Like, it looks like something took a massive bite out of the house.
The fuck?
And there's just a note on the wall saying, "Thank you for trying."
Oh my god.
Yeah, that actually made me cry for like a full minute.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, now someone must actually be texting me. Yeah.
Who was that?
Dude, what the fuck? I got randomly messaged. It says, if you prefer to no longer receive messages from this company, please respond with stop. That's all there is. They didn't even tell me anything.
Amazing. Anyway,
So stupid.
but basically, this game is really good at having really emotional, sad moments.
Yes.
But like also being like, basically, this is the only time travel game where the time travel seems to actively hate the protagonist. It's like Doctor Who, but if the TARDIS hated him.
It did at some point.
No, I mean like it never stopped hating him, and it always like sent him to horrible times where he was forced to do horrible things.
It did.
But like in every episode.
Yeah, basically.
And like that was like a precondition of it existing.
It's like every other serial. Yeah.
No. I mean every single episode this happens.
Yeah.
So basically, the scales are what are making you time travel, and the main character was the destined wielder of it, which is another trope, the chosen one trope, that the game eventually does also turn on its head, much later. And they're called Astrea's Scales, which is the name of one of the gods of the universe. There's actually like a whole dictionary you can get about how all the gods and religion works, which is really cool.
A book?
Yeah, like
in
an
real
in-game
life?
lore book.
Oh.
Yeah. It even gives you a lot of background lore. A bunch of there's like these random books that'll tell you stuff, like about how magic users are super rare, but that usually only women can become magic users because they tend to have like a higher aptitude for magical power because most of the gods are women.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a really cool way to explain that, but then makes you wonder why the bird can use magic
Woman bird.
to turn you into monsters and stuff. No, actually, that is another way it masterfully plays your sensibilities about what tropes are. Basically, it even says that like there's a whole flashback sequence where the main character is talking with his friend in the past, the one he's looking for, which is the whole reason he left the forest.
Yeah.
About how she wishes she could be a blackbird that could fly through the air. So it's like absolutely setting it up for the bird to be her, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. In fact, in like chapter 4 or 5, I think, it's revealed the bird is the dragon that killed them both.
What the hell?
Which explains a lot, especially because guess what the first thing you can turn into is?
The bird?
It's a dragon.
Oh.
The
you
first
killed
thing you
bird?
can turn into is a baby dragon.
So you killed the bird?
No, actually, it's really complicated. Basically, the bird was a robot originally.
Sent from the future?
Like basically, it was mentally a robot monster thing. It was biological, but it had the mind of a robot that existed to cull humanity's population.
What the hell?
This will be explained much later in the game, but yeah, that's one of my favorite twists. Is that the bird is the dragon.
The bird is the plane now.
Yeah, and this leads into another gut punch moment. I'm not going to spoil right now, but yeah, very very cool plot twist. And then after you get back, you go back to the red-haired guy who... Also, another bit of foreshadowing is that right before you go to the village, when you wake up in the morning, he's not there anymore. Meaning that's when you first time traveled to the time the village existed.
When you met the redhead guy?
Yeah, right after you go camping and sleep. Because he's not there in the morning. So you time travel at that point. So basically, the way these scales work...
You were so tired, when you sleep, you time travel.
No, the way these scales work is that whenever someone close to the main character makes a wish for something that is incredibly important to them, like personally, the main character will time travel into a relevant time period to whatever that important thing was.
Yeah?
And then they will have to make a decision that usually has no good answer.
So like a genie, basically.
It's kind of like a genie, but if the protagonist was powerful enough, he'd have a chance to change the monkey's paw.
It's a monkey. What?
It's a concept of the genie fucking you over when you make a wish. That's what monkey's paw means.
Oh. I don't know that.
But yeah, so basically every time you time travel, there's going to be a cost with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
can liquefy as half of Los Angeles.
Yeah. That literally happens at one point in the game. That literally is the plot of Chapter 3.
You know that they must have crimped that from Angel, right?
I don't know what that means.
Angel, that episode is from 2004.
No, actually. Like, it's not literally that.
He was trying to this scientist girl was trying to recorporalize someone who turned into kind of a ghost. And so she says, oh, that would work. Oh, but it liquefies half of Los Angeles.
No, actually, it's nothing like that. It's just the way you said liquefies half of Los Angeles is very accurate. Basically, in Chapter 3, you're part of an adventurers guild, which is the main plot of the game so far, and there's this town you go to that is already destroyed when you get there, but basically you were there to find any
phone that drops on the floor.
any recoverable body parts of any corpses that were there, just to see what happened.
Yeah.
So, now, what's interesting, though, is that there's a gravestone you can find with your character's name on it.
That's hot.
Anyway, then a flying midget kid comes out of nowhere and psychically blasts you into non-existence.
What the hell?
Yeah, and then basically he takes the scales from you.
Time paradox.
He's basically like the time police. He takes the scales from you for fucking with time, and then sends you back in time after taking your only way to time travel.
Amazing.
So that you would still actually die like you're supposed to.
Hi.
Hi. But yeah, so then you get teleported right into a volcano that's about to explode. Because the whole thing that destroyed this village was a volcano exploding.
Yes.
Yeah. So the whole point of that chapter is to
I
stop.
thought it was the Guardian.
It was actually that this is a different chapter. This is a different Guardian here.
Oh.
But basically, back to chapter 2, which I haven't explained yet because I'm skipping over a lot to get there. Chapter 2 made me stop playing. That was the first time I took a break because I cried again.
Yeah.
So basically, in chapter 2, you go to a swamp area that has a really weird but cool music.
Yes.
The only lyric is rain. Rain. Over and over. That's it. But it's actually done in a really well way. Really good way. Anyway, you go to...
You mean like rain?
Basically, the whole mission here is to get some supplies to a couple who live in this swamp for some fucking reason. And they're both old men. They're like the nice old grandmas that will force upon you 20 cookies and then will make you mac and cheese constantly.
So opposite which?
They're basically super nice people. Yeah, they're just regular old ladies and men.
Milled
Now,
ladies?
basically, when you first get to them, they tell you about how... Basically, throughout the whole chapter, the red-haired guy tells you about how there was a giant monster called Nushi who went through the entire area and killed a ton of people.
Yeah.
And even the entire army wasn't able to do anything about it at all. And this thing just obliterated the entire area, and this is the reason it's a swamp in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically the old couple tell you that their grandson was killed in that attack. But they are so nice, they don't even hate the monster for it. They just are sad that it happened.
You're like, oh, that's unfortunate.
No, they're
Oh,
just...
too
No,
bad.
no. They're more like... I hate that such a monster could exist in this world, and that it had such a disturbed heart, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, they're talking like that. So, literal angels, basically. And there's this dog named Poro, or something like that, I think, who's there. And he's super nice. He just kind of licks the old guy's face a couple times, and you leave. And right when you're about to go back to the village... After giving them their supplies, the dog appears and starts yapping at you.
Yapping?
Talking. Which immediately draws red flags considering the bird. The talking bird.
And the plane.
The talking bird. Remember how I told you he's actually a dragon?
Talking plane. Would you stop destroying your electronics?
So this talking dog is the only other talking animal you see in the game. Remember what I told you about the bird?
What's wrong with them then?
Do you remember what I told you about what the bird is?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Is he the Guardian?
Think about it.
Or is he a volcano?
The dog is the monster that destroyed the entire area and killed the old couple's grandson.
Okay, so it's basically just a carbon copy of the other chapter.
No. Because this happened before you even got there. Years before. A whole decade before. So, this is the first time your main character actually accomplishes something. Because basically the old couple get kidnapped by a bunch of goblins.
Okay.
Because they wanted to draw out the dog for some reason. And the Goblin King guy reveals that it was because he wanted to take the power from the dog of the monster that it used to be.
So that's how you find out?
Yeah, that's how they find out. And they still don't even hate him. Because the dog was super friendly to them. And the old man actually references he might have killed himself if the dog wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a whole flashback sequence where they first meet the dog after he becomes dog. And the dog instantly rips off half of the old man's fingers on one of his hands. And then he just hugs him. And then the dog starts crying and then they become best friends forever.
What the fuck?
That was really sad. That almost made me cry alone. Especially as they grew up together and they both started growing old. and how the old man got a sickness, and it's just really sad.
That reminds me of a music video that I saw about Undertale.
But anyway, then the Goblin King kills the dog,
Oh.
and then you have to fight him. He's not actually that difficult of a fight, very easily juggleable. At this point, like, it's honestly really funny how you can just juggle him in the air, because most of his attacks are horizontal, and he basically can't hit you as long as you're juggling him, which is very funny, honestly.
Amazing.
But after that, the dog reveals he's actually barely still alive, and then he
Still alive.
begs you to do one thing for him.
Yeah.
He begs you to go back in time and kill him in the past.
So you do that.
Yeah, so you go back in time right when the monster version of him is rampaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. His first attack is literally running you over. And this monster has the coolest design for a boss I have ever seen in this game until I saw one of the final bosses of this game.
Yeah.
Like, whoever the artist was for this game is the best drawer of dragons I have ever seen.
You said it was one guy.
You know, there's one guy, and much later on, one other guy joined him to make art for the game, but that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. I love how the credits is like one guy plus this other guy. But anyway.
Me and us and them.
Anyway, this monster has attacks such as a gigantic breath attack of plasma that annihilates half of the entire screen that you have to guard against. And he has an attack right after that instantly petrifies you, meaning you are almost definitely going to die to his next attack. You want to know how you get past this?
You die.
No. You have to somehow dodge the first attack and block the next attack with their stones, because these stones do extremely little guard damage. Meaning you can block them as long as you didn't take the huge attack.
Yeah.
A lot of the boss fights have like little puzzles like that you have to figure out. With the third chapter's main boss...
I was wondering if you could drop your phone again.
The third chapter's main boss is the most painful fight I have ever had to suffer in any game. Not only because it's bullshit, but because it plays rap music in the entire fight.
Oh, jeez.
I had to listen to that for an hour. 5 hours, because each attempt took almost an hour.
That's Wienorium.
But before we get to that, back to the dead dog.
Yay.
So basically, you kill the monster, and then it cuts back to the modern time where the dog is like disappearing, and he's crying about him disappearing and thinking his entire life was useless, and that him dying was literally the best thing that could have happened to the old couple.
Yeah.
Really sad shit. Stop turning back on, you stupid. Anyway.
If you tap the screen, I think it turns back on, right?
Yeah, shut up. Anyway, when you go back to the old couple's house, when you go back in time, there is a third person there. Their grandson. You know what his name is?
Nathaniel.
Poro. That's what they were going to name their grandson.
What the hell?
But they named the dog that instead. Like that alone, just the realization of that is what made me almost have a mental breakdown.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but then it gets even worse, because the kid starts saying that he has some kind of dog in his dreams telling him to be a good person.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he literally was. And this is actually relevant much later in the game. This fucking dog made me cry on like chapter 7.
Dogs.
Yeah. Like that'll take a long time to explain though.
Puppies.
But yeah. Now in chapter 3, basically there is this woman.
Yes?
And she is in the volcano after all that shit the little kid happened I told you about. After you get reverse Epsteined.
What the fuck?
I'm kidding. That was a joke. Anyway,
Bruh.
when you go in the volcano, this time the red-haired guy accidentally comes with you because he was too close to you when you teleported into the past. And the big conflict this time is that you don't have the scales, so you can't go back reasonably. Right?
Yes?
So, basically, you are in an active volcano that is about to blow up. And this volcano has the only track that was actually commissioned by the creator of the game to be made, and it is just as good as the first two I talked about. In fact, it's almost better. Somehow.
Yummy.
Like the music about 60% of the time is absolute peak cinema, and then the other 40% of the time is garage band noises. It's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like the Doom mods that I play.
But anyway, you find out so this first girl you meet, she seems like the typical heroine character.
You mean
like
heroine?
who's like fighting a dark version of her who used to be her sister or something.
Oh,
like that.
you mean
Like, you know, the
Undertale.
What?
Like Undertale.
No.
Like Kara and
No,
and
not
the
even
other one.
close. So basically, there was this old wizard guy, and there were these two apprentices, which were these two
Munchkins.
girls, and they were both wanting to learn the guy's ultimate magic.
Yes.
But only one of them could, and then one of them got jealous. Supposedly it was the dark one, but it was actually the one that was joining you the whole time. And she wanted to blow up the volcano to absorb the power of the volcano's guardian.
Yes.
And then be recognized by her master. So, but this volcano section is grueling. There's so much bullshit, like the puzzles with the fucking boomerang thing you have to do. But this is also when you start getting some really good weapons for once, and you actually really feel the progress. Like, it's really good progression. You even get these magic boots that completely ignore terrain disadvantages like lava, which are really cool.
Yes.
And basically, at the very end of it is the rap boss I was telling you about. That is extremely painful to fight because you can't hit him. Ever.
You have to splash poison on his ass?
No.
Up his ass?
You have to use a big-ass weapon. One of the biggest weapons, which means you are going to be heavily slowed down because he constantly makes rings of fireballs around the only point you can hit him at, meaning you are guaranteed to get hit if you try to get anywhere close enough to hit him normally.
Yes.
Yeah. And he almost never drops that except for like 5 seconds at one point. And like, it's painful. Because like he can kill you in like 3 hits at this point of the game. So if you just decide to go ham and try to Leroy Jenkins it, you are just gonna die, no matter what you do. So it is a grueling battle of poke him 1 to 2 times and then dodge his attacks for a whole minute straight. Poke him 1 to 2 times, rinse and repeat for an hour. Thankfully, this is the worst it gets. This is
Pokemon.
This is like the worst boss in the entire game.
You have to poke them on.
In fact, pretty much almost every negative review I ever saw of this game was people complaining about this boss specifically.
Yeah.
But again, it still felt really good to finally beat it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, after that, the volcano was literally like seconds from exploding. And so basically, one of like the dark girl person, the dark witch person,
Dark Girl G.
the one that was originally that actually got their master's ultimate spell, decides to use it, which at the same time she uses it, it completely removes any point to the other girl having a grudge against her for not using it, because the spell would relocate you away from danger or whoever it's used on, no matter what that danger is, at the cost of like the caster's lifespan.
Danger Ops, Prangent sex.
Yes.
Will it hurt baby top of his head?
I'm pretty sure this actually made her infertile, so yeah.
Oh, fuck.
But basically, it like saved 10 years off her lifespan to use it, and that's when the other one realized her bitching was pointless. Because it wasn't like some overpowered fireball or something. It was like literally just a spell to save other people.
We're bitching. Would you?
And this isn't just like a generic teleporting spell either, because you know what it does when it gets used on you?
Balls?
It teleports you back to your original time.
Making waves across my time.
So, like, this is actually insane. This is actually really good foreshadowing for just how powerful this great mage guy is. because the spell, as a fucking side effect, sends you back to your own time.
Yeah?
Yeah, as a side effect, not even an intended effect. And basically, you go back, and that's the end of chapter 3. And then the volcano stops exploding because you killed the guardian. And then you save the village.
Yay!
Yeah. Notably, this is the first time the protagonist has actually really saved anything. Except for that old couple's marriage.
Not their dog, though.
Yeah, not their dog, though. But yeah, so you can actually visibly tell that the protagonist is getting more and more pissed off at himself, even though he never says anything. Like, at all.
What, the wiener?
Like, other characters will sometimes comment on how the protagonist seems angry after you time travel and no one else did, because you fucked up something. And this actually gets increasingly worse until the very final chapter of the game. But I'm not going to spoil that right now. Anyway, chapter 4 is the chapter I was complaining about. With the woman thing.
Yes?
It's the beach episode.
Beats?
It's the beach episode.
Hot.
No. It is also one of the most traumatizing things I've ever seen in a game. Not because of what you'd think, actually, but because of...
Did you get violated by this video game?
No. So basically, you go
Call
to
now.
You go to a... You learn in this village that there's this priest guy sacrificing a bunch of girls to a god of beauty. Like, literally, like, full-on stabbing sacrifice. Or, like, basically, he feeds them to a snake. So, yeah.
What the hell?
And this priest is actually a very important character later on. But at first, it just seems like a typical, like, evil religion thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then eventually you actually meet that kid again, the overpowered kid baby guy.
The kid baby guy.
Who psychically blasts things out of existence.
Yeah.
He is so pissed off that you somehow came back, even without the thingy, that he decides to send you, quote unquote, to the end of time. Which is where the best plot twist in this entire game is. So, you appear in this really strange looking corridor with glass walls everywhere. And it's like a massive building. And I started to get a weird feeling about this, like I was like something weird is about to happen. And lo and behold, guess what you see when you exit the building you're in?
Balls.
No, full-on cyberpunk sci-fi city. Yeah.
The hell?
Full-on cyberpunk sci-fi city about 2,000 years in the future.
That's yummy.
Which is insane for a game you expect is mostly going to take place.
That's only 2,000 years in the future, though.
God, there's a reason for that.
Oh.
There's a reason he called it the end of time.
Did someone end time
No.
themselves?
No. There's an even more insane plot twist than that at the end. So basically, you appear in this place, and everyone starts talking to you like about how you're really good at cosplay. Because obviously you look like a medieval knight guy in full-on armor and stuff, right? With a sword.
Maybe.
And you have a bird, which is somehow more suspicious. Because they're asking if that's like a new model of android.
The fuck?
Because
Well, I guess it kind of is.
Because
right?
the entire world is polluted. And all life is gone except humanity.
It's literally cyberpunk.
No, in Cyberpunk some animals still exist like cats.
But
in
they're
this,
really rare.
No, actually, cats still thrive in Cyberpunk because they're stubborn assholes. That's actually like a whole corporation.
Like in Zootopia?
There's actually a whole corporation in Cyberpunk dedicated to cats. So.
Kind of like Zootopia too?
I don't know. But
No, you never watched it?
No. Anyway.
Oh my god, you should.
There's like even like a whole news segment on on a TV that the protagonist is like horrified by because he's never seen one of those in his life. And the bird's commentary on this entire section is pure gold. He's like, why is that floating egg-shaped guy on that weird screen-looking thing?
Eggman?
No, because the guy's like a regular American fat guy, you know?
Oh.
And then they're talking about some really interesting stuff like the Ark relocation project. Because Earth is so fucked at this point that they have to escape to the stars. And that only rich people are allowed to go on. Stuff like that.
Oh.
And basically, eventually, The main character gets flagged by automatic security systems as an unclean being. And not a citizen, because he doesn't have permission to exist.
Of course.
And some asshole military commander who is extremely bored sends a mech after you to watch it kill you. But of course, being an anime protagonist, the main character kills it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kills the mech. And then the military commander guy is so fucking horrified that this regular guy killed a 20-foot tall mech that he decides to just straight up try to nuke you. And the entire city. Except another guy with him says, "Hey, what the fuck, are you crazy?"
Amazing.
And then this other guy is like, "Huh, is that the guy I heard about in my dreams?" Now, you remember what I said about the dog and the kid?
Yeah.
How the kid saw the dog in his dreams?
Kind of.
So you know who this guy is?
The dog.
He is the great grandson of that kid.
So kind of.
Yeah. And apparently every single person in that family had the dog in their dreams telling them how cool this one guy was who saved his family.
Amazing.
Yeah. Although that's only revealed in like chapter 7. But yeah, you want to know how you get out of this situation?
You don't. Ah!
You go into a subway, and there you find Astrea.
A sandwich.
You find Astrea, the goddess of time, who is the one whose the scales were named after in the first place. And she basically makes you a deal, and of course she's completely naked, because of course.
Yes.
Because anime.
And because goddess.
And basically she's trapped in this giant machine that is like restraining her and using her power for something that you don't learn until much later.
Yeah.
And basically she makes a deal with you to send you back in time in return for helping her in some way at an unspecified date. Which is incredibly suspicious.
Yeah, it's a bit sussy in the wussy.
And she gives you a magical Pandora's box that it will return any one item put in it to its original state. So, at this point, you have to like think for a second, what item should I put in here? And then that's when I realized something.
Yeah.
Remember the herb from chapter 1?
Yeah.
That was like rotted away?
Yeah.
That's what you put in there.
Yes.
And if you don't put this specific item in there, you get a game over. Because because at this point, back before this all happened, you were out in the area where the kid attacked you this time because the girl from earlier got a horrific, uncurable disease, and you had to find something to cure it. So if you don't get this herb, she'll just die, and you get a game over.
What, the wiener?
Yeah, so you have to like choose this herb specifically to put it in there. And then you get sent back in time and heal her, and everything's good and happy, and then you go kill the snake guy and the priest, and the priest reveals he's been brainwashed by the god he's been sacrificing girls to, and that he actually hated every single second of it, and that he was slowly losing his mind and like being exposed to eldritch abominations every single second of his day.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so he kills himself.
Yeah.
He kills himself right before you were to fight him because of the grief of what happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this guy is very important because the red-haired guy looks at him with, like, absolute pity, like he knows him.
The red-haired guy?
Yeah, the red-haired guy.
Wait, wasn't he dead?
No, the red-haired guy never died.
Oh. He never died? He became a cyborg?
No, he comes back with you, like, from chapter 3. Like, he doesn't go on the cyberpunk adventure.
Oh.
That's just you and the bird.
So you're back in the same time with the red-haired guy?
Yeah, you're back in the normal time period. Yeah. And that's where the priest is and the whole village and stuff, you know. And then you find another magical artifact similar to the scales, which I wasn't expecting, which is a coffin. Like a floating coffin that binds to the girl.
Do you sleep in it?
No. Basically, it's like a floating magical barrier that instantly repels anything around it in a certain radius. And you actually have to use that to use a boat because the areas, the waters are infested with demons and monsters. Like insanely strong ones. So you have to use this to get across it. Because this barrier is completely invulnerable to anything.
Yes.
Ever. which is honestly pretty good to be on par with a time travel artifact.
Chime.
Time travel artifact.
Chime.
Artifact.
Chime traveling artifact.
Don't write that down, please. But anyway.
I'll video it down.
Anyway. After this is one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen in a game. Basically, after partying and stuff, and
You get drunk.
no, the girl gets drunk and then apparently does weird things in her sleep. But
Yes.
then when you wake up, everything's quiet. There's no music. Like goes full on creepypasta.
What the hell?
And then when you get out of your room, there's 2 monsters in the hallway, slimes. So you kill them, of course. And then you see 2 slimes in the bottom floor of the inn you were in, and then you kill them, of course.
The inn?
The inn that you were staying in.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of monsters all over the streets that you then kill. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what happens after you kill all of them is that there's this brand that was given to you as part of the a way to get closer to the priest to attack him, and you didn't notice it till now. But what actually happened here is you didn't kill any monsters.
They killed you.
No, they were the villagers.
Oh, you just had a spell put on you?
Yeah. So basically the protagonist was mind controlled by this same god, the one that was like sacrificing people to them. And
Wow.
basically all the townspeople were turned into monsters in your perception, and then you kill them all mercilessly, even the kids.
Amazing.
So yeah, the main protagonist almost has a mental breakdown at that and starts crying. And like I never expected to play a game where a guy like this committed a whole genocide, but yeah.
I would have.
Not when he seems like a generic happy anime protagonist.
No, those are the ones you have to worry about the most.
Yeah. But Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's extremely dark, because then you just see the bodies piled up after the spell wears off temporarily. It is just absolutely fucked. And then there's this other small little priestess lady that was like helping you out in the first place to get to the main priest.
Yeah.
Who then is like looks at you knowingly, like she knows what happened, and then sends you off on a magic boat, a ghost boat, to go to this cave where the god is, so you can fight it. Because of course you have to fight a god.
Yes.
Because that's how these always work. Except this is only chapter 4. So then you go into the cave, and she sends you off, and then 5 seconds later you see her decapitate a head inside of a flesh tentacle in a wall.
That's hot.
So she was dead this whole time.
So who the hell sent you on the magic boat?
Her.
Adventure?
She was basically an extremely powerful mage who managed to like astral project her soul into a fake ghost body for a while, and managed to somehow survive off of that, and then was able to mind control everyone in the village into thinking she was always there so that she could help you out. And she still is actually alive and buried in that wall because she's sustaining herself off of nothing but her own magic, which is honestly really cool and also more foreshadowing. And then she gets literally smited by the god. And then
As if she wasn't already.
No, like literally full on divine lightning kind of smite
Oh my god.
into ash. And then you find the old
What an ash hole.
And then you find the original priest's journal, which horrifyingly reads like something from the Cthulhu mythos, where it's like detailing him, who he was originally one of the 4 heroes who beat the demon lord.
Yes.
Like a typical, like one of those animes, you know?
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
that made me instantly think about the red guy.
Red
And then
haired
it
guy?
all clicked together.
The red haired guy?
He had red hair. That's protagonist hair.
That's protagonist hair.
Yeah, so I just, at that moment, I put together, he must have been part of this same party, and he was the original protagonist. Along with the priest lady, because she's so powerful, and the cleric guy.
Yes.
That was brainwashed, which is an insane find. Then, yeah, you go through this whole dungeon, which also has really good music, because of course it does.
Yeah.
And you get to this snake god lady
Snake God lady.
And you have to fight her, but she won't even manifest into a physical form to fight you. To fight you because she's a dick. And then
have one?
basically you get smited and then just die.
That's hot.
The end.
That's the end.
No, it's not. But basically, all of the dead villagers you killed are so pissed off at this god for ruining all of their lives so horribly that they all become vengeful ghosts. Every single one of them, even the kids, especially the kids.
That's amazing.
And then they all basically make you half ghost and let you attack the god on the astral plane.
What the hell?
Peak fiction.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So you use the power of Nazi genocide to kill a god.
Okay.
But yeah, funnily enough, that fight isn't even that hard. Because you can get the juggling.
You can juggle these nuts.
You can juggle these god.
The god's nuts.
You might be a god, but you can't do shit when you're not on the astral plane high as a kite. But yeah, that is the first god the main character kills.
The first one.
Yeah, and then after that, all the villagers basically tell the main character that it wasn't his fault, that he had to kill them because he was fucking brainwashed. And then they say thanks for avenging them, basically.
Yeah.
And then they all pass on to the other side. And even the dog appears for a second.
Break on through to the other side.
Even the dog appears out of frame and just nods at you.
Saying good job.
And then you get a secret little cutscene where the old man from chapter 1 is talking to his daughter about how you really have a hard life ahead of you.
Yeah.
From beyond the grave. I like how this cutscene only plays after the game establishes ghosts are real.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very nice. And then in chapter 5 is where shit gets real. Basically, at this point, you've gotten the scales back from some way, I don't remember. There was so much in the story. But basically, the red-haired guy steals it from you and then leaves to go to another continent, which is the continent where the Demon Lord used to exist, supposedly.
That's not just real. That's El Camino real.
So, basically, he has an incredibly dark story, too. In fact, his story really is a protagonist backstory. Just like your protagonist's backstory. He has the protagonist front story.
Yes.
So basically, he had a sister who could basically heal anything instantly, including death. Like, literally anything. Like, literally, she could heal people from death.
Yummy.
Which is insane. And, of course, her brother was worried that someone would try to kidnap her for this.
Yes.
And he protected her for a while. And he had to... One day, the Demon Lord came to his village and kidnapped his sister to use as a battery.
So it's literally Demon Slayer.
Not exactly.
You've seen it then, haven't you?
I've read it.
You've read it?
The original version of it, the manga version.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is where the guy goes on his journey to, get some companions and fight the guy, you know.
Yes.
Thing is, they didn't actually beat the Demon Lord.
He just got to a different plane?
No.
What the
Basically,
fuck?
they killed the Demon Lord, supposedly, but they never find his sister.
Hang on. I'm done just using the bathroom. Okay, so let's get ready to go.
But they never find his sister, no matter where they look. So you have to go all the way back to the castle and fight through it, and then fight the Demon Lord, and then a second one spawns in. So you go to the past, and you find his whole party back in the past before they were going to fight the Demon Lord.
Oh my god, my camera's having a fucking fit.
Okay?
Maybe.
Which is, all of his party members are people you've seen before throughout the game, which are really cool. Like the priest guy.
Yeah.
And basically, after you beat the first Demon Lord, a second one appears. And then a third one.
Does it ever end?
And then
Are
you
there
realize
7 of them?
you realize they're mass produced, and that they weren't the real one.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
And at one point in this chapter, there's a really sad moment, but I'll get to that in a second. Basically, you find out there's a secret passage that these dumbasses never found to the real Demon Lord,
Yeah.
who has his sister inside of its stomach, who is constantly healing it.
What the hell?
Yeah, so you have to like rip into it. However, she is like physically fused into it. Like half her body is like gone and fused with veins and stuff.
That's hot.
It's horrific. So basically, the younger version of the red-haired guy basically tries to stop you from killing it because he knows that you'd have to kill his sister
Yeah.
to get rid of it, because it instantly heals from all damage every couple seconds. Like, it literally heals 1,000,000 health every 5 seconds.
The fuck.
Yeah. So, basically, the red-haired guy from the future decides to fight his original self, which is crazy, honestly. And then he kills his sister, or what's left of her brain.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
All right.
And then he decides to stay to keep his sister alive temporarily. And then, like, there's a moment in this chapter pretty early on where this happens, where he decides to just stay in the past the first time before you manage to find the real Demon Lord, and he tries to charge into the castle himself.
Yeah.
And you go back to the present and leave him there, and he's at the gates as an old man who is on his last breaths, having attacked the castle like thousands of times trying to get through.
Yeah.
And that's like really sad, because he just says, "Wow, I almost forgot your face," and then he just fucking dies
Oh my god.
before you can actually save him. And then you eventually do save him, but that moment actually almost traumatized me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly scary how often main characters will just fucking die, and the main character has to like fix it somehow, and sometimes he can't even actually fix it. No matter what. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I haven't even gotten through a third of the game, by the way, talking to you so far.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but this chapter is where things really heat up, story-wise. And it gets completely insane. Because in chapter 6 is when you learn about the flat world thing. And basically there's this minister guy who seems like typical evil minister number 67. You know, like those guys are always evil. And he wants to make one day he goes to a magical floating island and takes a bunch of old like robot golem soldier things to decimate the entire country and rule it forever. And this actually happens before you even hear about it. Like, you get locked into a bad ending because of this. And, like, for reference, you fight one of them, and it has 48,000 health.
Oh my god.
Which is an insane amount. And he has thousands of them. Like, sure, you could beat one, but what if he sent 100 of them at you? But, yeah, you basically become fugitives with the red-haired guy and watch every other character die that you knew in the guild before. So, yeah. Like, everyone. Except him.
One goofy game.
Yeah, and then, basically, you're on the run for almost a full-on year because your character has decided to never, ever use the scales ever again because every single time it's made him more traumatized. And basically, eventually they decide they absolutely have to use the scales one more time to stop the minister guy. So they try that, and they go with him to teleport. Because the minister guy escaped from them the first time by teleporting halfway across the world somehow.
Yeah.
By basically using that same spell from chapter 3 that I was... Remember that one?
Kind of.
Yeah, he basically sacrifices a ton of people to let him teleport that far. But this time you go with him, and you're on the edge of the world, and it's kind of insane. It's like a sheer drop off, like completely flat, into like a void of nothingness, like Skyblock. And that's when I started getting the feeling something was wrong about this. And then, guess what? You take a step off the edge, and guess what's there?
Jumping.
An invisible road.
What the fuck?
Yeah, an invisible road you can walk across to the flying island place. And I thought, after this chapter, I thought this is really weird that just exists. But then I didn't really pay attention to much of that because this area has the most annoying puzzle. This is where I had to look up a guy's entire playthrough of the game to get to that point to figure out the puzzle, by the way.
Okay, I need to stop or else my brain's gonna come out of my ears.
But I didn't even get to the best twists yet.
What, is this a pretzel?
What?
Pretzel?
No, plot twists.
Pretzel twists.
But anyway, one more thing.
No.
Was a little she's still not even out of the bathroom, Jaden.
I need to...
I will yap and you will like it. So anyway.
No.
Damn.
So you know Pokemon, right?
So I wasn't even halfway done.
Actually, I gotta take a piss.
Are you